Hello, everybody. This is Adamu from Nigeria Freedom Radio. Today is Wednesday, July 11th, 2018. So I came across the national debts of countries. And honestly, I can't continue to understand why people still don't realize the effect that government has in their lives. And I don't want to claim like I have known this for a while, but because I did not. If you want to listen, I've actually did an episode here on Nigeria Freedom Radio where I discussed my transition to freedom, to total freedom. I am against all forms of government because it's violence. I'm not against rape. I am against rape, sorry. I am against rape, theft, and murder. So I have to be against government. You can't reconcile both, literally. And I think even those who are adamantly pursuing government solution to things, they know this, but it is not the logical reasons. It's not the moral reasons that they can't resist democracy, they can't resist government. It's just for something else. It's for emotional reasons, and so on and so forth. In any case, so yeah, if you want to listen, I urge you to listen to my progress from basically government, full government, to now zero government. I do not support no government because I do not support rape in any kind, no matter how small it is. In any case, so I wouldn't claim to have known this information well beforehand, and I give credit to people whom I have come across this journey that have basically let me know, and that's the reason why I'm doing this, to join that train in telling people what actually works. So I can't claim to know this. So if you don't know, don't feel like you are dumb or anything like that. No, I literally have became no state, no government guy just a couple months ago. So this might not mean something that you might know, but when you look at the debt of countries all over the world, you see that almost all governments, literally the only data that I've seen that has no debt or some kind of debt really, I can't remember the country now. I should probably do that. That's a silly excuse, but that was it. These island countries that has couple thousand people basically, that has no debt as at 2016. But in essence, all countries on earth have some kind of debt. And it's staggering. The more advanced countries, the more debt than the less advanced countries. So really, the more you become enshrined in government, the more debt you become. And this should reveal to people one effect of the disaster called government. I won't say and give you the reasons, like tell you, well, without government, it would have been worse, right? That is not really my point here. This is a philosophy show, so my whole argument is based on whether government is moral or not. Well, what is moral? The truth. The non-aggression principle. Anything that violates the non-aggression principle is immoral. The non-aggression principle says no one has a right to initiate force against anyone. So don't strike first. Do not strike first. And government is force. Government is violence through taxation, through regulations, and what have you. So government is immoral. And because it's immoral, it is bad. And, we can sit down and start listing how terrible government has been and argue about, what could have been without government. Maybe that's probably what the arguments you might bring. But that is secondary. Government is immoral. It violates property, and therefore is immoral. No difference between government and rape, government and theft, and murder. No difference. Well, what is rape and lovemaking? Consent. What is theft and me giving you my stuff? Consent. What is taxation and opposite of taxation? Consent. Taxation is compulsory payment to the government, whether you like it or not. So debt is one of those things that are the consequences of a system that designed based on violence. And the virus called government, and I'm sorry if I'm using all these strong terms, but there's no, it's like I have to use them. Well, I don't have to, but it's necessary to use them because that's what they are. It's like if you see someone being raped and you want to report the rape and you want to try to hide the seriousness of the rape. Maybe you might say, well, someone is having sex without their consent, trying to kind of water down the rape word. I don't think I doubt you probably do that. I think when you call someone, you will say someone is being raped or someone is getting killed. These are the facts. These are what they are. The same thing with government. Government is rape. Is rape. So, anyways, advanced countries. When you look at the statistics, if I remember, I'll put the link down below. But advanced countries have more debt relatively to developing countries, like Nigeria, for example. As at 2016, Nigeria has a debt profile of about 13.2 of our total GDP. The United States has 80% of its debt is equal to 80% of its total GDP, economic activity. So, literally, if everybody would... so this, in perspective, this is what it means. If everybody will pay the U.S. national debt, right? 80 people will donate their economic activity. 80, only 20% will not. So 80% of the people in a year will donate their income to service, to just pay the debt. I've kind of lost my train there. But what I was saying is, the more advanced countries, the more the debt. The less advanced, the less the debt. And this is this really correlates to democracies. I know democracy, government is more involved in advanced countries. For example, in the USA, there's Social Security for everybody. In Nigeria, there's nothing like Social Security. There is local governments, so city governments, all these things. In Nigeria, there is no city governments. I've literally, all my life, I have grown in a city almost without government. The only presence of government is time to time I see police people when I'm in town. And second, I use the Naira note. That is literally my only evidence of the presence of government. Otherwise, zero. What I did in my town was purely voluntary. My school wasn't taxed. You can start business today. Start selling anything you like. I am really appreciating those moments now. And I pray they stay that way. I pray government don't penetrate that deep into Nigeria so that it can be easier to remove it. When people are addicted to the virus called government, they could be cured much, much more faster. You know, when you go to a town, for example, in Nigeria, and say, hey, would you want to have your resources returned to you, or would you, would you have it be with the government? Because they haven't seen the benefits or these resources. They will, I'm hoping it wouldn't matter either way, right? They won't say, oh my God, we're dependent on these resources, therefore, no, I'm addicted to it. I don't want to lose it. Therefore, let's leave it with the government. No, most people in Nigeria have no connection to government benefits. So I think that would be a lot easier to tell people, to remove these programs, to basically reduce the powers of government, than countries like the United States, where literally millions of people depend on governments. Medicaid, Medicare in the US, all these things, public education. So it's going to be hard for a single mother of two who receives benefits from the government to tell her to not support government. That's going to be difficult. And you can't blame her. She's trying to survive, right? So that is the basic facts. Advanced countries have more debt, and that tells you something is wrong with what they have in common, which is government, the penetration of government in these different countries. Absolutely, that is one of the signs, the disastrous signs that government is a violent organization and produces negative things. You are better off without government. I don't know how your life is going to be. I'm not going to tell you here what to do to succeed, to progress. Then I'll become government. That's what government is. Government is the idea that people know what to do to make your life successful. That is absolutely false. So I can't tell you that. But this is what I'll tell you, though. If you are doing a little better now, you will do a lot better without force. if I'm raping a woman right now, that woman will be a lot better without rape. Just not knowing anything about that woman, that woman will most likely be better without rape. I don't know if this makes sense. If I have slaves, and I was wondering, so if I have slaves, even without knowing what the slaves will do, how their lives, how they're going to get water, food, clothing, shelter, I know they are better off without me enslaving them than they are being enslaved. They are in the short, long run. They are. Maybe in the short run, they might wonder trying to figure out what to do. But in the long run, they are way better off than me enslaving them. So yes, I will absolutely say you are better off without government than with government. Basically, in other words, which is literally the same, you are better off without being raped than if you are being raped. Just substitute the word government with rape. Then you might be able to see the seriousness of this. So yeah, just to round up, coming back to the debt, if I think I have the numbers here. The debt as of 2016 in the US, per person in the US, the debt per person, if the US national debt is to be paid by person, every person would pay about $61,769 US dollars. So almost 62,000 US dollars. In the UK, it is 34,014 US dollars. So about 34,000 US dollars. And it's interesting what the data I used. It showed how these two countries, the US and the UK, their debt have progressively increased from when the data was available. And if people don't do anything about government, this is not gonna stop. It's gonna continue. And all these great big empires that we have heard of, the Roman, the Russian Empire, all this fell down precisely because of government. Make no mistake, there's nothing as benevolent government. Just like there's nothing like benevolent rape. The system is eventually it's not sustainable. And usually people don't realize until the bad things have happened and people will bounce off and perhaps maybe correct the system. But anyways, anyway, if you enjoy, God, I repeat a lot of things that I say. I hope you pardon my repetition. Anyway, if you enjoy this presentation, please share with others and take note of these things. Anything that is kind of red flag, and take a note of it and research about it and see. I really appreciate you listening. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.